Hello and welcome back. So these videos will be kind of out of order because, well, I just haven't had time to get around to doing them. That being said, I have to get the videos done for your homework tonight because you're going to be looking to me for help on that. So one of the periods took a vote, didn't even know you were taking a vote, and we decided numbers 4, 5, and 6. So number 4, how come I cannot see the top of this? There we go. We are going to be talking about adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. Okay, adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. Now, our first example is 4/5 minus a negative 1/5. Now, we know the denominators are the same. Because the denominators are the same, it's going to be the same all the way through. So we're going to have a 5 on the bottom. Now, I just need to math my numerators. So I have 4 minus negative 1. When I am subtracting integers, I am adding the opposite. So instead of subtracting a 1, I'm going to add the opposite of negative 1, which is positive 1. 4 plus a positive 1 is 5. Now, I am not done. I must simplify. And in order for me to simplify, I simply need to know that 5 goes into 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Easy enough. Let's try another example. This example is a little bit more difficult. And let me get some room in here, because we actually have to take more than one step to do this. So it is negative 2 1/3 minus a negative 1/3. All right. Now we have the same denominators, but first I got to get rid of this negative 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get mad. And mad helps me get rid of this improper fraction. So I'm going to multiply my 3 times 2. I'm going to add my 1. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And of course, this is a negative. And then I'm going to keep the denominator. So negative 7/3. And now I'm going to rewrite the rest of the equation. Minus a negative 1/3 equals, well, I have the same denominators, so I know I can just keep my denominators all the way through. And we're going to make that a 3. And now I just need to do the math for this top portion. So I have, and that parentheses came out horrible, negative 7 minus a negative 1. And as we just talked about negative 7, subtracting a negative number, we're going to add the opposite. So I'm going to add a positive 1. I now have 2 integers with different symbols. Because they have different symbols, I am going to subtract them. 7 minus 1 is 6. And I'm going to have the sign with the largest absolute value. Well, 7 has a larger absolute value than 1. So it's a negative. Thus, my answer is going to be negative. I've got to simplify. What is simplifying this going to be? Well, I need to look. 3 goes into 6 how many times? 3 goes into 6 2 times. And it does so evenly. And then I have my remainder, which is I have a negative here, and I only have one negative. So a number divided by a negative remains a negative. So in this example, our answer comes down to negative 2. And let's make and clear away. I think we have time for one more problem. So let's look at this one. Oh, this one's a pretty quick one. You guys are going to like this because we don't even have to get mad on this one. In fact, let me just go on ahead and erase that mad. We'll come back to the mad. So it's going to be negative 7 over 8 minus 3 over 8 equals. All right, well, I have same denominators, so I'm going to keep that all the way through. And now I just need to do my math for up top. Negative 7 minus 3. Now I want to write that over here. And the reason I want to write this over here is because when we're subtracting, we need to add the opposite. And I want to make sure you guys watch what actually happens. I'm going to change that negative to an addition, and I'm adding the opposite of positive 3, which is negative 3. Now, because they are the same sign, I add them. So a negative plus a negative is a negative. 7 plus 3 is 10, and I keep the sign they are, so that's a negative 10. Now, I have to simplify, okay? I can't just leave that as my answer. I know that my rule for simplifying means I should look at these numbers first and foremost. It's going to be the easiest way. I know that I can divide negative 10 by 2. Let me change colors on this. Divide by 2. And I know that that 8 divides by 2. So let's see what that gets. If I divide negative 10 by 2, I get negative 5. If I divide 8 by 2, I get 4. Now, this is almost there. And let's go on ahead and... Oops, that's not what I want to do. We'll just do this. All right, so now let's take a look at it again. Let me rewrite this. Negative 5 over 4. Can I simplify that even more? Absolutely, because I can put that 4 into the 5 at least once. 4 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. Leaves me with 1. So I have a remainder of 1, and I can represent that as 1 over 4. Because I'm looking at 1 divided by 4 still. So this simplifies into 1 and 1/4. Now, we've talked about going mad in class, and we'll talk about the long division to go backwards in a video here shortly. But I wanted to make sure that I pushed this video out for you to give you some help. Just to give a reminder. So if they are like denominators, specifically if they are like denominators, you're going to keep the denominator. Actually, first step is if they have a mixed number, you have to get mad, keep the denominator, do your math, and simplify. And that will get you through the other 3 problems today. This week, I hope to spend some time on YouTube videos and making the rest of our fraction series. Other than that, don't forget to click like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell, make it go ding, and I'll see you in class.